Hello gamers from around the world, this is Archimedes, the video game enthusiast from Germany with another fiery video. Okay, you might have noticed there's already quite some heat in the room, and that is because yesterday on July 23rd Microsoft had their big Xbox game reveal event. And boy, it was about time. The hype and anticipation for that event was through the roof, and we finally got to see how Microsoft wants to enter the next generation of gaming. Of course, the quality and enthusiasm can't be as high as when a dude gets to show a controller with its respective flowing capabilities, but still, it was pretty damn exciting. And I know you are excited to see the highlights, but let's back up a little first. This whole current console generation, the narrative in the console gaming world was that Xbox has not enough games. But we all know that ever since Phil Spencer became head of Xbox, things have changed, and a few years ago he went onto a shopping spree and bought quite a few studios to develop games exclusively for the Xbox ecosystem. And today there are 15 Xbox game studios which are working on multiple projects, but we didn't officially know what those games were that they have been working on. And this changed. The Xbox game reveal event was packed with game reveals. We finally got a glimpse into the future of the Xbox gaming division and what we get to play in the next few years if we gamers invest into the Xbox ecosystem. Microsoft has been extremely open and transparent over the last months. They have revealed their strategy very open and very clear in how they see the next generation. May it be backward compatibility, technical specs, features like the Velocity architecture, accessories and of course services like Game Pass and xCloud. They have been open and transparent in their messaging, except for the games they have in store. But speculate no longer, my friends, the games have been revealed. Not from all of the 15 studios, but 9 out of 15 studios showed their cards. And they teased at the end of the show that more studios will show what they are working on later this year. And now in this video I'm going to break the event down and analyze, was the reveal event a hit or a miss? What were the highlights and can we be excited for the games to come? But before we go into the details of the Xbox event, I want to ask you for a favor. If you watch this video and think you are enjoying yourself, then please consider to hit the like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to not miss out on future videos. I put a lot of work into my videos and I try to grow my channel, and this one little click from you helps me more than you think. And if you know someone who would enjoy this kind of content, please feel free to share it out, I would greatly appreciate it. But now, let's dive into the Xbox game reveal event. Okay, I want to start with some general thoughts on the show before we go through all the games that have been shown. Before the show even started, there was a pre-show with Jeff Keighley. Well, I do not want to go too much into that pre-show or why Microsoft has chosen him for the event, but there were already some announcements in that show. They have shown a few Japanese games coming to the Xbox, just like many gamers have requested. So games like Dragon Quest or Balan Wonderworld are now coming to the Xbox. They also showed a great montage of ID at Xbox games, meaning indie games, that are coming to the Xbox ecosystem and a few other smaller games. As great as those announcements were, I was glad that they got that out of the way for the big show. And well, the big show was nowhere near at the mid-tier production quality event we got back in May. The event was 1 hour of pure polished quality, which I greatly appreciate. No shaky cam interviews, but a high quality production value. Also, there were no over enthusiastic moderators, it was just games and more games. The pacing of the show was just on point, we can't complain there. And those of you who follow my channel know that I have been very vocal about one thing, that Microsoft should show games that are 2 or maybe 3 years out to give gamers an outlook on what's to come, and they did exactly that. They announced a bunch of games that are far out, and that's why we did not get to see gameplay for many of the games. Well, I would have loved to see a bit more gameplay too, yes for sure, but at least we got many fantastic game announcements. I have seen the reactions on social media and that some are complaining about not having enough wow moments in the show, and that I can't really understand, cause the games shown were top notch and some are big AAA games, just like we always wanted from Microsoft, just without the gameplay, and that might have taken away some of the wow factors for some gamers. But there was a very important message that was really very great for us gamers. All the games that they have shown in the event, may they be first or third party games, are coming to Game Pass day and date. How awesome is that? Okay, and that being said, let's dive into the games that have been shown. course, they opened up the show with Halo Infinite. They have been promoting the whole show with that game, and boy did they deliver. The gameplay shown looked insane, especially if you go back and watch it in 4K 60 FPS, which by the way will be the way how we get to play it on the Xbox Series X. They have shown that the game has a huge open world with objectives to discover on a new mysterious Halo ring. The lighting was incredible, although they said after the show that Raytracing will be patched in at a later point. The sound was amazing, we got little story teasers with the Banished playing their role in the game, and that got me goosebumps, and we have seen a new traversal mechanic with a grappling hook. As you might be able to tell, I'm incredibly excited to play that game, but now we are moving on. The second game in the show was a huge surprise, and I did not see that coming. State of Decay 3 from Undead Labs. I thought this game is far out, but they teased it with a beautiful looking trailer, and you were directly able to tell that this game is of a significantly higher production value than the predecessor, which were already great fantastic games, but they lacked a little of technical polishing. Then they have shown of course the next Forza game, Forza Motorsport. What was surprising is that it isn't titled Forza Motorsport 8 and it won't launch with the console. They didn't say that it will come out in 21, but they did say it won't come out this year and that it is early in development. The game looked absolutely fantastic. It will run at 4K 60 FPS with ray tracing, and I mean look at it, it's just drop dead gorgeous. Next up was Everwild from Rare, and I mean this game is just beautiful. It's a cel shaded game that was presented with some epic shots and an amazing music score. We didn't get to see gameplay, so we still don't know what this game is really about, but they set the mood incredibly well, and I'm very excited to find out what the gameplay loop of this game will be. Okay, and then they announced something I was kind of expecting to come, that is a Series X patch for Ori and the Will of the Wisps. That game was already an incredibly experience, and now we get to play it at 120 frames per second. Next up they have shown the studio Obsidian with a DLC for Outer Worlds, one of my favorite games from 2019. Outer Worlds was an incredible RPG, probably the best Western RPG since The Witcher 3, and of course I'm excited to play a great looking DLC for that game. They also joked a little bit about the release of a smaller game from Obsidian called Grounded, and I already thought okay, an opportunity was missed, but then they transitioned into one of the best announcements of the show, and that is the announcement of a game called Avowed, which is a Skyrim-like looking game, a huge RPG, and apparently the reason why Microsoft bought the studio. They emphasized that Obsidian wanted to make this huge RPG and that Microsoft is fully supporting their vision. And being a huge Skyrim fan myself, this is one of the best announcements of the show for me. But moving on, the next studio they talked about was Ninja Theory with their game Hellblade 2, which was already announced back in December 2019. They confirmed that it will play in Iceland and it will run in Unreal Engine 5. They also said that there will be a developer diary up on their YouTube channel, but that's about it. So we didn't get to see anything new from Hellblade 2, which I have to admit was a little disappointing for me, but still, we know Hellblade 2 is coming and it will be incredible. Then they moved on to Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine. That game will have a lot of humor in it and it's probably going to be Microsoft's answer to the Ratchet & Clank franchise from Sony. The trailer they have shown looks cool, but I would have preferred a bit more of gameplay. Okay, and then Microsoft moved on to some third-party announcements, starting with Destiny 2, which is coming to Game Pass with all expansions, and they confirmed that the game will run on the Xbox Series X at 4K 60 FPS, which is very cool, and they have also shown a trailer for the new expansion called Beyond Light, and I can't wait to play it. Well, and next up they have shown some AA games from third-party developers, like a cool looking interactive drama called A Dusk Fall, a new Warhammer game, Tetris Effect, and a few others. I don't want to go into all of those games because that would blow the video up. If you are interested, you can watch the trailers on the Xbox YouTube channel. There was also the announcement from Microsoft that Phantasy Star Online is coming, which I know many are excited about, but the game is not for me. Another very cool announcement was Stalker 2, a first-person survival horror shooter that I cannot wait to play. And another game that took me by surprise was the campaign gameplay for Crossfire X. The game is developed by the Korean developer Smilegate, but the campaign is specifically done by Remedy. And boy, did that look good. Fast paced, great visuals and pure fun. I can't wait to play that game. Another game that was presented with some impressive gameplay was The Medium. It looks like a story-driven game where you can switch instantly in between two worlds. They already said that this gameplay mechanic is only possible on the Xbox Series X with the SSD and Velocity architecture. Great stuff, my friends. And with that they closed the show out and had of course the one more thing moment, and that was the game that many have anticipated, the reveal of Fable from Playground Games. It has been heavily rumored up front and now we got the confirmation, a new Fable is coming. I love Fable, it's a fantastic franchise and I'm happy to see a reboot from a new developer. The teaser trailer looked awesome and had a typical Fable humor in it, but don't expect that game anytime soon. My bet is that this is a 2022 game, so I expect that game to be huge in scope and far out, but it is awesome to know that it is coming. And with that I want to come to my conclusion. Was the Xbox event a fire show? In my opinion it was. Even though I would have appreciated a bit more gameplay for some games, I have to give credit to Microsoft. They have shown some games like Avowed, Fable, Halo, Hellblade 2, Forza Motorsport, State of Decay 3, Everwild, Psychonauts 2 and a couple of cool third-party announcements. And just like I said in my preview video for the event, Microsoft will hold some games back for a possible August event to counter the next announcement that is bound to come from Sony. And like I said in my previous video, the game from the Initiative for instance is such a game that will be revealed at a later point, and Matt Booty confirmed that there will be more announcements from Xbox Game Studios coming later this year. So I'm very happy with this event. I saw many AAA games I'm looking forward to play, and if I had to score that showcase I would give it a very good 9.0. And with that I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did so, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and consider sharing this out to other gamers. I would greatly appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below how you liked the Xbox Games Showcase. What were the games that you got excited for? Did Microsoft deliver it or did they miss it? Just drop the thoughts down below. And besides here on YouTube you can also hit me up on Twitter, where I share a lot of opinions and gaming discussions. But for now, thank you very much for watching, I see you the next time and game on!